There is something you want, something you've wanted for a while, maybe years, and yet here you are, still not there. Not because you're lazy, not because life hasn't given you the chances, but because some part of you, quietly, invisibly, keeps pulling you back. Today, we're going to look inside that part.
You know the feeling. You set the goal. You feel the clarity. For a moment, everything seems possible. Then something happens, or nothing happens, and you drift. Maybe you start the project and abandon it after 3 days. Maybe you keep saying, next month. Maybe you sabotage the relationship that was finally going well. Maybe you stay in the job you hate. Not because you can't leave, but because leaving feels terrifying in a way you can't quite name. And the cruel part is this: you are aware of it. You watch yourself do it. You tell yourself it won't happen again, but it does. Psychology has a name for this. It's called self-sabotage. But that name, while accurate, misses the deeper truth, because self-sabotage isn't random. It isn't weakness. It is your brain working exactly as it was designed to work. It's just that your brain's design is very, very old. Here is the reframe. Every time you pull back from the life you say you want, your brain thinks it is protecting you. The behavior you call sabotage is actually your nervous system's best attempt at keeping you safe. Safe from failure, safe from visibility, safe from the discomfort of becoming someone new, someone you have never been before. The brain does not distinguish between a threat to your survival and a threat to your identity. To the nervous system, both feel like danger. This is not a metaphor. It is neuroscience. When you move toward meaningful change, the brain's threat detection systems, particularly the amygdala, can activate the same stress response as physical danger. Your heart rate rises, your thinking narrows, and you retreat. Not because you are weak, because you are human. Let's go deeper. Your brain has two competing systems. Think of them as two voices in the same room. The first voice is desire, the part that sets the goal, imagines the future, and says yes. This lives largely in the prefrontal cortex, the seat of planning and aspiration. The second voice is protection, the part that scans for risk, remembers every past failure, and says, wait. This lives deeper in the limbic system, rooted in survival and memory. Most of the time, in most people, protection wins. Not because it is louder, but because it speaks an older language, the language of the body, of sensation, of subtle dread. Desire speaks in words and visions. Protection speaks in tight chests and interrupted sleep. There is another layer too. Researchers have observed what some call the upper limit problem, the idea that many people carry an unconscious ceiling on how much success, love, or joy they believe they deserve. When life begins to exceed that ceiling, the brain manufactures a problem, an argument, a missed deadline, an illness, to bring things back to the familiar level. Familiarity, even painful familiarity, feels safer than unknown goodness. And then there is identity. If your self-concept is built around being someone who struggles, who tries but doesn't quite make it, then succeeding becomes a threat to the story you have been telling about yourself for years. So what do you do with this? Here are 5 principles. 1. Notice the moment, not the outcome. Self-sabotage is rarely dramatic. It happens in small moments. The email you don't send, the conversation you avoid, the morning you sleep through. Start by noticing those micro moments without judgment. Research shows that awareness without self-criticism is itself a therapeutic act. You don't need to fix anything yet. Just see it. 2. Get curious about the fear underneath. Behind almost every act of self-sabotage is a fear, not always of failure, often of success, of visibility, of being truly seen and found lacking. Ask yourself, if this worked, what would I lose? The answer is usually more honest than you expect. 3. Expand your tolerance for discomfort. Gradually, Neuroscience shows us that the window of tolerance, the range of states within which we can function without shutting down, is not fixed. It can be expanded slowly through deliberate exposure to manageable discomfort. Each time you do something slightly beyond your comfort zone and survive it, you update the nervous system's threat map. You teach your brain, this is safe. We have been here before. We are still here. 4. Update the identity story. The most lasting change starts not with outcomes or habits, but with identity. Begin to call yourself privately, quietly, the person you are becoming, not as performance, as hypothesis. Each small action that aligns with that identity becomes evidence, and the brain, which is fundamentally a prediction machine, begins to update its model of who you are. 5. Lower the stakes of beginning. The brain will resist any action it perceives as high risk. The solution is not to become braver. It is to make the first step so small it barely registers as a decision. Write one sentence. Send one message. Walk to the door. Momentum is neurological. Once the prefrontal cortex is engaged, the limbic resistance tends to quiet. The hardest moment is always before you begin. Here is the one model to carry forward. Think of your life as 2 layers. The surface layer, what you say you want, what you plan, what you consciously intend, and the deeper layer, what your nervous system believes is safe, what your identity says is possible, what your memory says is true. Self-sabotage is not the enemy. It is a signal that these 2 layers are in conflict. The work is not to destroy the deeper layer, it is to bring it into the conversation, to listen to it, understand its logic, and slowly, patiently renegotiate with it. This is not a battle, it is a dialogue.
You are not sabotaging your life because you don't want it badly enough. You are doing it because some part of you is still learning that good things are allowed to last, that you are safe enough to be seen, that the version of you on the other side of this is still you. That part just needs time, and it needs you to keep showing up, not with force, but with patience, not with judgment, but with the quiet, honest attention that you have always deserved.